I joked, "Will you come meet my parents with me?" She smiled and said, "They already like me." He wasn't nervous about work today. He had handled alien delegates, intense negotiations, and even emergency crises before. No, this nervousness was different. It was personal. "Will you come meet my parents with me?" he asked aloud, more as a joke than anything else. He imagined the scene. A formal dinner with his human council parents, stern and proper, questioning every move. The thought made him chuckle quietly. "Will you come meet my parents with me?" The words felt heavy in the room, hanging between the soft hum of the spacecraft's life systems and the gentle hum of distant stars. A soft, melodic voice replied from across the room. "They already like me." Alex froze. He hadn't expected that. Lyra, his partner, leaned against the edge of the desk with that calm, knowing smile that made him both happy and nervous at the same time. She was an alien, yes, but her grace, her understanding of people, and her quiet confidence often made him feel ordinary in the best way. "They already, what?" he stammered. Lyra tilted her head slightly. "I've met them in ways you haven't seen. Don't worry." "They already know I'm safe." Alex blinked. "Safe? Lyra, we're talking about the Human Council. They're not exactly casual dinner guests. They run the planetary systems, decide interstellar policies, and they trust humans," Lyra interrupted softly. "You're human, Alex. And humans have ways of showing care that others often overlook. I've seen it. I know it. Don't overthink it." Alex leaned back, letting out a slow breath. He knew Lyra had a point. Humans had survived, adapted, and thrived in the galaxy despite being underestimated by many other species. But this personal side of him, this introducing her to his parents thing, felt much more fragile. The small spacecraft hummed as it floated quietly above the blue and green planet of New Terra. Outside the viewport, the sun dipped slowly behind the horizon, painting the sky in shades of gold and violet. It was beautiful, but Alex barely noticed. He was focused on Lyra, on her calm certainty, and on the strange claim that his council parents already liked her. "Lyra," he began, hesitant, "are you serious? How could they already like you if they've never even met you?" Lyra smiled, a small curve of her lips that seemed to hold centuries of wisdom. "Humans notice more than you think. They see actions, intentions, courage. I have observed. I understand. When we meet them, it will feel natural." Alex ran his fingers through his hair. He wanted to argue, to explain that humans were skeptical, cautious, and often resistant to outsiders. But Lyra's eyes held a quiet patience that made him pause. She didn't just understand humans, she understood him. "Fine," he said, letting out a reluctant laugh. "Let's see if your observation skills are as good as you claim." The next morning, Alex and Lyra prepared for the meeting. The council chambers were located in the capital city of New Terra, a sprawling metropolis of sleek towers, shimmering glass, and streets filled with humans, aliens, and hybrids. Despite the city's advanced technology, Alex loved the way humans had built it, efficient, practical, and somehow warm. Lyra moved beside him silently, her posture straight, her presence calm. People in the streets glanced at her curiously. Her appearance was unlike any humans, but there was something unthreatening about her. She didn't carry arrogance, only quiet confidence. "Remember," she said softly, "humans trust effort, courage, and honesty. Speak from the heart and you'll do fine. I'll handle the rest." Alex nodded, though part of him felt nervous. "You make it sound too easy." "It is easy," Lyra said simply. "For me, for them, for you, maybe not yet." When they reached the council chambers, the doors opened with a soft hiss. Inside, the council members waited, humans dressed in formal robes, faces serious, hands folded on the table. Alex's parents, the human leaders he worked with closely, looked exactly as he imagined, observant, cautious, and ready to judge. He swallowed nervously. "Lyra," he whispered, "remember they don't know you." "They already do," she whispered back, smiling. Alex wasn't sure what she meant, but before he could ask, Lyra stepped forward. "Good morning," she said, her voice smooth and confident. "Thank you for meeting with us." The council members blinked. One of them, an older man named Chancellor Renner, raised an eyebrow. "Lyra," he said carefully, "we weren't expecting you so soon. How do you know our expectations?" Lyra's smile didn't falter. "I have studied humans for many years. I understand your values, your concerns, and your hopes. I know what matters to you most." Alex's jaw dropped slightly. He had never seen the council so quiet. Lyra's calm, assured presence seemed to fill the room. Even the strictest, most skeptical members leaned forward, curious. Chancellor Renner exchanged a glance with another council member, Lady Yara. Both seemed to acknowledge something unspoken. "Impressive," Renner said finally. "Most newcomers fail to grasp human sensibilities. You have not only grasped them, you anticipate them." Lyra inclined her head. "Humans are remarkable. They survive, adapt, and thrive even when underestimated. I wanted to understand them, not as outsiders, but as observers who admire their strength." Alex couldn't hide his surprise. She had done it, captured the council's attention in minutes and without seeming to try. He felt a mix of pride and embarrassment. He had always thought humans were underestimated, but seeing Lyra articulate their value so clearly, it was humbling. The meeting continued with formal introductions and polite discussions. But throughout it all, Alex noticed small things. Council members leaning slightly closer when Lyra spoke, nodding at points he hadn't expected, and exchanging quiet smiles. She was, somehow, bridging a gap that Alex himself had struggled with for years. When the meeting ended, Lyra turned to Alex. "See," she said softly, "they already like me." Alex laughed nervously, shaking his head. "I guess you were right, I can't even argue with that." Lyra's smile widened. "I'm not here to replace you, Alex. I'm here to show them what you already know. Humans are stronger than most think." Alex felt a surge of pride. It wasn't just her praise, it was the recognition that humans, despite their weaknesses, had something unique. Ingenuity, courage, resilience. And maybe, just maybe, they were ready to be seen as equals in the galaxy. As they left the council chambers, the sun set behind the towering buildings, casting long shadows across the streets of New Terra. Alex glanced at Lyra, her silhouette glowing softly in the fading light. "Tomorrow," he said, "we'll have to do this again, right?" Lyra laughed softly. "Yes, but next time you will see how natural it is. Humans and those who care for them, they have a way of understanding before words are even spoken." Alex smiled, feeling something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Maybe, just maybe, the galaxy was ready to see humans the way Lyra did: clever, resilient, and full of surprising strength. As they walked down the busy streets, aliens of all shapes and sizes passing by, Alex felt a quiet determination. If Lyra believed in humans this much, he would not let her, or anyone, be disappointed. And somehow, just somehow, he began to think that maybe, in ways he couldn't yet explain, she was right. The council did already like her, and maybe, they were starting to see him, too. The morning sun painted the skies above New Terra in pale gold as Alex and Lyra arrived again at the council chambers. The city was waking up, aliens and humans moving through the streets in a quiet rhythm, each busy with their daily lives. For Alex, though, the world seemed sharper today, louder, more alive. Today, the council would not just meet Lyra, they would test her. Alex's heart beat faster as they approached the grand entrance. The doors slid open automatically, revealing the polished chamber where the council convened. It was a room of authority and tradition, with high ceilings, holographic displays, and seats arranged in a semicircle around the main podium. The human leaders, his parents in council terms, were already there, their faces calm but alert. Lyra walked beside Alex with a quiet confidence that made him feel both proud and nervous. She seemed to glide rather than walk, her movements smooth and deliberate. Alex, on the other hand, felt clumsy, uncertain. He had met council members many times, yet today he felt like a child walking into a room of judges. Relax, Lyra whispered. I've already observed how humans respond to these tests. Just follow my lead. Alex nodded, though doubt lingered. He still couldn't understand how she seemed so prepared for a situation she had technically never faced. As they approached the council, Chancellor Renner gestured for them to take their seats. Lyra, he said formally, today will be a series of trials. Not to intimidate, but to understand. We have watched your interactions with Alex and we are intrigued. Yet understanding human values requires more than observation. It requires participation. Lyra inclined her head. I understand, Chancellor, I am ready. Alex swallowed. The council wasn't kind to mistakes, especially with aliens who interacted with humans daily. This was a test of character, intelligence, and understanding, traits humans often took for granted, but ones that others constantly underestimated. The first trial was simple, in theory. The council presented a series of ethical dilemmas. Holographic images appeared in the air, scenes of conflict, negotiation, and unexpected crises. Each required a decision. One scenario showed a human colony threatened by a sudden meteor storm. The council asked, "How would you save as many lives as possible?" Lyra's response was immediate. "We must prioritize coordination, evacuation, and protection. Immediate shelters can be reinforced with available technology. Communication channels must remain open. People are adaptable. With clear guidance, casualties will be minimized." Alex felt a twinge of pride. Her words were precise but carried empathy, showing respect for human ingenuity and resilience. The council murmured among themselves, impressed. The next scenario involved a complex negotiation between rival alien species. Most humans would overthink or hesitate, but Lyra spoke calmly, analyzing the situation from multiple perspectives. A compromise must honor both parties' core values while preserving human interests. Transparent communication and fairness are key, and if trust is broken, repair it with honesty and effort. Alex glanced at her. She made it look easy. He had struggled with such negotiations himself, yet she seemed to anticipate every question, every reaction. After several rounds, the council members began leaning forward, clearly intrigued. Lyra's understanding was deep. She not only solved problems but also highlighted human qualities, courage, creativity, and compassion. Chancellor Renner's voice cut through the quiet. Lyra, you understand humans well, but tell us, what drives them? Why do they persist despite being considered fragile compared to other species? Lyra smiled softly. Humans have an instinct for survival, yes, but more importantly, they have a sense of purpose and connection. They think, create, and act, even when the odds seem against them. They are underestimated because their strength is subtle, found in ingenuity, cooperation, and perseverance. They inspire and in turn they endure. There was silence. Even the strictest council members seemed caught off guard. Alex realized she was saying what he had always felt but could never express so clearly. Humans were more than their limitations. They were unpredictable, clever, and resilient. The final trial was physical, but not in a traditional sense. A simulated crisis appeared, a colony under attack from unknown alien forces. Lyra's challenge was to coordinate a response using limited resources, with Alex assigned as her assistant. The simulation began and chaos appeared in holographic form. Ships moved in erratic patterns, civilians needed evacuation, and supplies were limited. Alex felt panic rising in his chest, but Lyra's voice was calm, guiding him step by step. "Focus on the people first," she said. "Calculate the safest routes, organize the teams, and trust human instincts. They will adapt quickly if given clear direction." Alex followed her instructions, his hands moving over the controls. Slowly, methodically, the simulation stabilized. Civilians were safe, resources allocated, and the alien threat neutralized, not through brute force but through strategy and understanding. When the simulation ended, the council members leaned back, nodding slowly. Lady Yara, one of the most skeptical members, finally spoke. Remarkable, most humans fail to grasp the complexity of multi-species coordination. Yet you, Lyra, anticipate, guide, and complement them. This changes our perspective. Alex felt his chest swell. Lyra turned to him with a small smile. "See," she whispered. "They like us. They understand now." He nodded, still trying to catch his breath. Her confidence wasn't arrogance. It was a quiet knowledge of what humans could achieve, combined with an understanding of those around her. It was impressive and humbling. After the trials, the council took a moment to confer privately. Alex felt anxious as they whispered among themselves, curious whether their verdict would be approval or something more critical. Finally, Chancellor Renner spoke again. "Lyra, your understanding of humans surpasses our expectations. Not only do you comprehend their values, but you elevate them. You demonstrate what humans can achieve when guided wisely. We see potential both in you and in them." Alex exhaled in relief. He looked at Lyra, amazed. She had done it. She had turned skepticism into admiration, doubt into recognition. Yet there was still one question left unanswered. Alex leaned slightly toward her. How did you know? How could you predict all of this so accurately?" Lyra's eyes sparkled with quiet amusement. "I observed, I studied. Humans leave clues in their choices, their actions, their care for each other. I learned and I remembered. It is not magic, only attention, patience, and respect. You see, humans are consistent when you truly understand them." Alex shook his head in disbelief. He had always thought humans were underestimated, even by themselves. But Lyra had revealed something he had never fully realized. The subtle strength humans carried, the cleverness hidden in ordinary actions, the courage that surfaced in moments of crisis. The council, now fully convinced of her insight, offered a final acknowledgement. "Humans are stronger than we imagined," Lady Yara said. "Not in brute force, but in mind, heart, and resilience. We will watch their progress with renewed respect." Alex couldn't stop smiling. Lyra had not only impressed the council, but had also reminded him of something he often forgot. Humans were capable of extraordinary things, especially when underestimated. As they left the council chambers, the streets of New Terra were alive with activity. Aliens and humans moved side by side, unaware of the quiet victory that had taken place within those walls. Alex looked at Lyra, admiration and gratitude shining in his eyes. "You did it," he said softly. "You proved it. They believe in humans now more than ever." Lyra smiled, a gentle curve of her lips. "We did it together. Humans have always had this strength, it just needed recognition. Now they see it." Alex felt a swell of pride. Not just for Lyra, but for himself, for humanity, for the quiet resilience that had carried them through centuries. He realized that perhaps this was the beginning of something larger, a future where humans would no longer be underestimated, where their ingenuity, courage, and heart would shine across the stars. For the first time in a long while, Alex felt that humans, despite all their flaws, were ready to step into a new era. And with Lyra by his side, guiding, observing, and believing in them, he felt certain they would succeed. The sun climbed higher, casting long shadows across the city, and Alex felt a quiet hope stirring in his chest. The council's trials had ended, but this was only the beginning. Humans had shown their true strength, and the galaxy was about to notice. As he walked beside Lyra, Alex realized one thing clearly. She was right. They already liked her, and now, perhaps, the galaxy would come to like humanity too. The council chambers were quieter than usual that morning. The sunlight streaming through the tall windows highlighted the polished floors, making the room feel larger than it actually was. Alex felt the familiar mix of excitement and nerves as he followed Lyra inside. Today was different. Today, the council would test not just Lyra's understanding of humans, but humans themselves. Chancellor Renner looked at Alex with a steady gaze. "You have seen how Lyra navigates challenges," he said. Now, we must see how you and humanity respond under pressure. These are not simple dilemmas. They are tests of character, strategy, and resilience. Alex nodded, trying to keep his voice steady. We're ready. Lyra placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Together, she said softly, we face it together. The council members moved to activate the first test. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a human colony on a distant planet facing multiple crises at once. Meteor storms, resource shortages, and internal conflicts had all struck the colony simultaneously. The challenge was clear: restore order, protect lives, and maintain hope. Alex took a deep breath. This was a simulation, yes, but the stakes felt real. He glanced at Lyra, who already had her eyes scanning every holographic detail. She didn't rush, didn't panic. Her calm confidence radiated through the room. Step 1, Lyra said, prioritize immediate threats. Protect lives first. Humans respond best when given clear direction. Alex moved quickly, issuing instructions to simulated teams, organizing evacuations, and coordinating supply distribution. Lyra watched him closely, occasionally offering a small suggestion that made all the difference. Redirect the emergency vehicles to the northern sector, she advised. The residents there are more vulnerable and the terrain is unstable. Alex followed her instructions, and slowly the simulation stabilized. Civilians were safe, resources allocated, and the colony's structures were protected. The council watched in silence, clearly impressed. Next, the council presented a negotiation scenario. Two alien species were in conflict over a valuable energy resource on a shared planet. Humans had been called in as mediators. Most would panic, unsure how to handle alien politics, but not Lyra. She spoke first, her voice calm and measured. We must listen to both parties, understand their priorities, and propose solutions that respect their core values. We must also ensure that humans are seen as fair and trustworthy intermediaries. Alex nodded, taking notes and following her lead. They proposed a plan that shared resources equitably, included mutual benefits, and allowed for future cooperation. The council's holograms of the alien leaders showed satisfaction. Excellent, Lady Yara whispered. You not only understand humans, but you elevate them. They think beyond fear. They act with creativity and fairness. Alex felt a surge of pride. Lyra's confidence had guided him, but the credit was also his. Humans had solved this challenge through courage, logic, and collaboration, exactly as Lyra had predicted. The council paused for a moment, then moved to the final test, an unexpected challenge designed to push them beyond simulations. A holographic alert appeared, showing a human colony under attack by an unknown alien faction. This was no longer a controlled scenario. The attackers were intelligent, adaptive, and aggressive. Alex's hands shook slightly as he reached for the controls, but Lyra's calm presence steadied him. Focus on human instincts, she said. Predict, adapt, and trust your judgment. Humans excel when they must improvise. Alex directed the defensive measures, coordinating evacuation teams while Lyra analyzed the attacker's strategies. Slowly, they began to outmaneuver the holographic threat. Civilians were evacuated, resources protected, and the attackers repelled, not through brute force but through clever tactics and coordinated efforts. Chancellor Renner's eyes widened. Remarkable, he said. Humans are underestimated because their strength is not in raw power, but in ingenuity, cooperation, and perseverance. You have demonstrated this beyond expectation. Alex looked at Lyra, feeling both relief and admiration. She had prepared him for this, but he had also relied on his own instincts. Together, they had proven the council wrong in the best way, not by dominating but by showing the subtle power of humanity. Lady Yara leaned forward. Lyra, you have guided them well. But tell us, what is your secret? How do you anticipate so much so accurately? Lyra smiled gently. Observation, patience, and respect. Humans leave clues in their actions, in their choices, in how they care for each other. I learned to notice, to understand, and to trust their instincts. Humans are resilient. They adapt, improvise, and overcome. It is a strength that others often overlook. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. She had not only helped him navigate the challenges, but had also reminded him of something he had forgotten. Humans were extraordinary in ways that were often invisible to the untrained eye. The council members nodded, clearly convinced. Chancellor Renner addressed Alex directly. "You have done well. You see what others do not. You act with courage, intelligence, and creativity. These are the qualities that make humans exceptional." Alex felt his chest swell with pride. He realized that this was more than a personal victory, it was a victory for humanity. Lyra had shown the council what humans could achieve, and he had seen it in action firsthand. As they left the council chambers, the sun was high in the sky, casting bright light across New Terra. Alex felt a sense of accomplishment, but also anticipation. The challenges had been difficult, but he knew this was only the beginning. Lyra turned to him with a smile. "You see, humans are underestimated, not because they lack strength, but because their power is subtle. Cleverness, courage, and collaboration, these are what make them remarkable." Alex nodded, feeling a quiet determination. "And now the council sees it too." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Yes, and soon the galaxy will see it as well." Alex took a deep breath, thinking about the future. Humans had always faced doubt, skepticism, and challenges. But they had a unique strength, the ability to adapt, to think creatively, and to persevere. With Lyra's guidance and with their own courage, there was nothing they could not overcome. As they walked through the bustling streets of New Terra, Alex noticed the small moments of human ingenuity all around him. People working together, helping one another, solving problems with creativity and care. He realized that this was the essence of humanity, the quiet, unassuming strength that made them capable of extraordinary things. Lyra glanced at him. "Humans are ready, Alex. You just needed to see it for yourself." Alex smiled, feeling a sense of pride and hope he hadn't felt in years. He knew that challenges would continue, that the galaxy was vast and unpredictable. But he also knew that humans, when given the chance, could rise above any obstacle. The council's trials had been difficult, but they had revealed something important. Humans were more than their weaknesses, more than their limits. They were clever, resourceful, and capable of remarkable things. And with Lyra by his side, guiding, observing, and believing in them, Alex knew that the future was bright. As the day came to a close, Alex looked up at the sky, watching the first stars appear in the twilight. He felt a quiet sense of excitement. The galaxy was full of unknowns, full of challenges and adventures. But for the first time, he felt confident that humans were ready to face them. Lyra squeezed his hand gently. "This is only the beginning," she said. "There will be more tests, more challenges, more opportunities to show what humans can do. But you are ready, and so are they." Alex nodded, feeling a surge of determination. He knew she was right. Humans had faced doubt before, but they had always found a way to rise above it. Now, with the Council's recognition and Lyra's guidance, they could face anything the galaxy threw at them. And for the first time, Alex truly believed that humans, underestimated as they were, could shine brighter than anyone had imagined. The next morning, New Terra glowed under the rising sun, painting the city in gold and silver. Alex walked alongside Lyra through the quiet streets, feeling a mix of excitement and unease. The council's trials had ended successfully, but he sensed that something deeper was about to be revealed. Lyra moved beside him with her usual calm confidence, her eyes scanning the surroundings as if she could see more than the buildings and streets, more than even Alex could perceive. "Lyra," Alex began hesitantly, "I have to ask, how did you know so much about humans? Not just today, but yesterday and the day before. You anticipated everything from our instincts to our reactions. It's almost impossible." Lyra smiled softly, her gaze steady. It is not impossible. I have observed humans for decades, Alex. Not just you, not just your colony, but humanity as a whole. I have studied your history, your choices, and your resilience. I have seen what humans can do when underestimated. Alex stopped walking. Decades, but how and why? You've never even been officially part of human society. Lyra looked at him, her expression serene but serious. Because I care, Alex. I wanted to understand humans deeply, not as outsiders, but as someone who admires your species. I have followed colonies, studied patterns, and noted how humans respond under pressure. I know your strengths, your courage, and your creativity. And I know your weaknesses, but I also know that even in weakness, humans find ways to rise above. Alex felt a shiver of awe. She wasn't exaggerating. Everything he had seen her do, from guiding him through council tests to anticipating every move in the simulations, now made sense. She had been preparing for this moment, preparing for humans for him. Lyra, you're saying all this time you've been watching humans, studying us? Alex's voice was a mix of disbelief and admiration. Lyra nodded. Yes, and not just studying. I have learned to understand, to respect, and to anticipate. Humans are often underestimated because others see only the surface, but I have seen beneath that. I know your potential. Alex ran a hand through his hair, trying to process this. He felt proud, but also slightly overwhelmed. To think that someone had observed and understood humans so completely was humbling. As they approached the council chambers for another meeting, a sense of tension lingered in the air. This time, it wasn't just about tests, it was about revelation. The council had called them for a private discussion, one that promised answers and challenges beyond the simulations. Chancellor Renner greeted them as they entered. Alex, Lyra, please sit. Today, we have much to discuss. You have both impressed us, but there are questions that remain unanswered. Questions about humans, about your role in the galaxy, and about the potential you hold. Alex sat down, trying to steady his racing heart. Lyra remained calm, her presence grounding him. Lyra, Lady Yara began, you claim to understand humans, but your knowledge seems extraordinary. How can you know so much about a species you are not biologically a part of? Lyra inclined her head. Humans leave traces of their character everywhere. In decisions, in cooperation, in courage, I observe, analyze, and learn. Biology does not limit understanding. Humans are remarkable because of their minds, hearts, and instincts. I have spent decades learning these qualities. The council murmured, clearly impressed. Alex felt a swell of pride. Lyra wasn't just speaking from knowledge, she was speaking from admiration and deep understanding. Chancellor Renner leaned forward. And what is your purpose, Lyra? Why invest so much time and energy in studying humans? Lyra's eyes softened. Because humans have potential that many fail to see. They are underestimated, overlooked, and doubted. But they possess ingenuity, courage, and resilience that can shape the galaxy. I wanted to understand, to prepare, and to help guide them, not as a master but as a partner who believes in them. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. Lyra had not only believed in humans, she had demonstrated it time and time again. The council's trials, the simulations, the guidance she had offered, it all made sense now. Suddenly, the chamber doors slid open, and a holographic alert appeared. It showed a distant human colony under threat. Ships from an unknown faction were attacking, and the colony's defenses were struggling to respond. Alex's heart sank. The council members exchanged concerned glances. "This is real," Renner said quietly. "This is not a simulation. You must respond." Lyra turned to Alex. "We can do this. Humans excel when they must improvise. We can guide them, but you must lead." Alex nodded, determination replacing fear. He had learned so much from Lyra, but now it was his turn to act. He coordinated with the colony's defense teams, directing evacuations, allocating resources, and improvising strategies as new threats appeared. Lyra watched his decisions, offering subtle guidance. Redirect your drones to the eastern perimeter. They are adapting to your initial patterns. Humans will respond well if given clear direction. Alex followed her instructions. Slowly, the colony stabilized. Civilians were safe, ships were defended, and the attackers were repelled, not through brute force but through clever planning, teamwork, and courage. The council watched in awe. Even the most skeptical members were silent, clearly impressed by the human ingenuity displayed before them. When the immediate threat was neutralized, Lyra turned to Alex. "See, you have learned. You have guided, adapted, and inspired. Humans are capable beyond expectation." Alex nodded, breathing heavily but feeling a surge of pride. I understand now. Humans are not just survivors, they're innovators, leaders, and problem solvers. They rise to challenges that others would fear." Lady Yara finally spoke, her voice filled with respect. "You have shown us that humans are more than their weaknesses. They are capable, clever, and resilient. Lyra's guidance has revealed what we could not see before. This changes our perspective entirely." Chancellor Renner added, "Lyra, your understanding of humans is extraordinary. You have not only demonstrated their strengths, but you have also inspired confidence. Humanity will no longer be underestimated in our council." Alex looked at Lyra, gratitude shining in his eyes. She had done more than guide him through challenges. She had revealed the true potential of his species, the hidden strength that humans often took for granted. As they left the council chambers, Alex felt a quiet sense of determination. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown threats and challenges, but he knew humans were ready. They had ingenuity, courage, and a resilience that could not be matched. Lyra walked beside him, her expression calm but proud. "This is only the beginning, Alex. There will be more challenges, more opportunities to prove humanity's worth. But you are ready, and so are they." Alex nodded, feeling a surge of hope. "Yes, and now I believe it too. Humans can rise to anything, especially when guided by someone who truly understands them." The sun set over New Terra, casting long shadows across the city. Alex looked up at the sky, imagining the stars beyond and the countless worlds that awaited. He knew that humans had a role to play in the galaxy, a role that was only beginning to be recognized. Lyra squeezed his hand gently. "The Council sees it, the galaxy will see it, and humans will rise in ways even they cannot yet imagine." Alex smiled, feeling a quiet pride. Humans had been underestimated for too long. Now, with Lyra's guidance and their own courage, they could face the galaxy with confidence. As they walked through the streets, Alex noticed the small signs of human ingenuity everywhere, people helping one another, solving problems with creativity, and adapting to challenges with resilience. He realized that this was the true essence of humanity, the quiet strength that made them capable of extraordinary things. Lyra glanced at him, her eyes reflecting the fading light. "Humans are ready, Alex, and so are you." Alex nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The Council's trials had ended, but the real journey was only beginning. Humanity had been revealed, not as fragile or weak, but as clever, resourceful, and resilient. And with Lyra by his side, guiding, observing, and believing in them, Alex knew that the future was bright. As night fell over New Terra, Alex looked up at the stars, feeling a quiet excitement. The galaxy was full of unknowns, full of challenges and adventures, but humans were ready. And with Lyra's guidance, they would rise to every challenge, proving that their ingenuity, courage, and heart were forces to be reckoned with. For the first time, Alex felt certain. Humans, underestimated as they were, could shine brighter than anyone had imagined. The galaxy was vast, and the stars beyond New Terra seemed endless. Alex stood on the observation deck of the human flagship, watching the distant flicker of alien worlds. The Council had recognized humanity's ingenuity, but the galaxy was not yet fully aware of what humans could do. Lyra stood beside him, her calm presence grounding him. "The Council saw your potential," she said softly. "Now the galaxy will see it, but we must act carefully. There are those who doubt humans and there are those who will challenge them." Alex nodded. "I know, but we've proven ourselves before. We can do it again." Suddenly, the ship's alert systems blared. Holographic screens lit up, showing a fleet of unknown alien vessels advancing toward a distant human colony. Their formations were precise, their speed alarming. "An attack," Alex muttered. "This is not a drill." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "No, this is real, and they are skilled, but humans are more than they appear. We can stop this." Alex felt a surge of adrenaline. He had led humans through simulations, council trials, and local crises, but this was the first time he faced a true interstellar threat. The stakes were higher than ever. "Alex," Lyra said calmly, "focus on strategy. Humans excel when they must improvise. I will guide you, but you will lead." He took a deep breath and nodded. "All right, let's do this." The fleet of alien ships was approaching fast. Their weapons glowed ominously and their movement was calculated. Alex accessed the colony's defensive network, directing drones, coordinating shields, and preparing evacuation measures. "Divide the drones into 3 groups," Lyra advised. "The first will distract, the second will reinforce defenses, and the third will protect civilians. Predict the enemy's pattern. They will try to adapt." Alex followed her guidance. As the first wave of alien ships neared the colony, the drones moved in coordinated formations, intercepting attacks and redirecting fire. Civilians were evacuated using automated transports, guided by human crews who displayed calm efficiency. The aliens adapted quickly, targeting weak points and exploiting gaps in the defenses. Alex's mind raced, calculating possibilities, adapting strategies. Lyra's voice remained steady beside him, offering insights and predictions. "Reposition the second group to the northern perimeter," she said. "The aliens will focus there next. Humans will respond well if given clear options and coordination." The drones shifted, forming a protective barrier around the colony's most vulnerable areas. Alex felt a surge of pride. Human ingenuity was on full display. They were not relying on brute strength, but on clever strategy, quick thinking, and adaptability. The alien fleet launched a concentrated strike at the colony's energy core. Alex and Lyra worked in perfect coordination. "Divert power to the outer shields," Lyra instructed. "Humans can handle precise maneuvers. Trust them." Alex executed the command and the shields held. The energy core remained intact and the colony's systems continued to function. Civilians cheered quietly as the threat was mitigated. But the battle was not over. A new wave of alien ships emerged from the shadows, faster and more aggressive than before. Alex's hands shook slightly, but Lyra's calm presence steadied him. "Focus on human ingenuity," she said. "Adapt, improvise, and lead. Humans shine in moments of challenge." Alex nodded. He issued new commands, coordinating drones, ships, and defensive systems with precision. Humans on the colony responded with courage and creativity, setting up traps, rerouting power, and using the terrain to their advantage. Lyra observed quietly, offering small adjustments that made huge differences. "Move the support units to the eastern ridge," she said. "The enemy will overextend there. Humans will exploit it naturally." As the aliens advanced, the humans executed a brilliant counterattack. Using clever maneuvers, adaptive tactics, and coordinated teamwork, they forced the alien ships to retreat. Their technology and intelligence had been tested, and their ingenuity had shone brightly. Chancellor Renner's voice came through the communications network. "Alex, Lyra, the Council is watching. You have exceeded our expectations. Humanity's potential is now clear. You have shown that humans are not to be underestimated." Alex exhaled, relief and pride flooding him. He looked at Lyra, whose smile reflected calm satisfaction. "We did it," he said quietly. Lyra nodded. "Humans did it." I guided, yes, but it was their courage, creativity, and teamwork that won the day. This is who they are. The alien fleet retreated, disappearing into the void of space. The colony was safe, its people unharmed. For the first time, Alex felt the full weight of what they had accomplished. Humans had faced a true interstellar threat, and they had prevailed. Lady Yara's voice came over the comms, filled with respect. Humanity is remarkable. Not because of strength alone, but because of ingenuity, collaboration, and resilience. We have underestimated them for too long. Today, they have proven themselves worthy of respect across the galaxy. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of pride that went beyond personal achievement. Humans, underestimated as they were, had shown the galaxy what they could do. Lyra turned to him. You see, Alex, humans shine brightest when they face challenges. They improvise, adapt, and overcome. That is why I believed in them all along. Alex nodded. And now the galaxy will see it too. We've changed perceptions today, Lyra. Humanity has been recognized, not for what others expected, but for what they truly are. The colony's leaders sent messages of gratitude, praising the humans who had defended them. Reports of the battle spread quickly through human networks and across the Council's communications. The story of human ingenuity and courage became known, inspiring other colonies and even alien civilizations. Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had not only protected lives but had demonstrated the unique strengths of humanity, cleverness, teamwork, and moral courage. Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. This is only the beginning, Alex. There will be more challenges, but now the galaxy knows what humans are capable of, and humans will continue to rise as they always have. Alex nodded, feeling hope and determination. The journey was far from over, but humanity had proven itself. They had shown that their strength was not in brute force, but in intelligence, heart, and courage. As they looked out at the stars, Alex realized something profound. Humans had always been underestimated, doubted, and overlooked, but they had something that no other species could replicate: ingenuity, adaptability, and the will to rise above every challenge. Lyra's eyes met his. You have seen it, Alex. The Council has seen it. The galaxy will see it. Humans shine and their light will spread far and wide. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of pride and excitement. Yes, and with guidance, courage, and belief in ourselves, we can face anything. Humanity will rise and the galaxy will take notice. The stars above New Terra twinkled like a promise of the future, and Alex knew that humans had truly begun their journey into a new era. They had faced doubt, adversity, and challenge, and they had emerged victorious, proving that their ingenuity, heart, and courage were forces that could shape the galaxy. Lyra squeezed his hand gently. Humans are ready, Alex, and now the galaxy will know it. Alex looked at the horizon, the city glowing softly beneath the night sky. He felt a deep sense of hope and pride. Humanity had been underestimated for too long. Now they had proven themselves worthy, not just to the Council, not just to Lyra, but to the galaxy itself. As the night settled over New Terra, Alex realized one thing clearly. Humans, underestimated as they were, could shine brighter than anyone had imagined. And together with allies like Lyra, their light would illuminate the galaxy for generations to come. The adventure was only beginning, but for the first time, Alex felt certain that humanity's ingenuity, courage, and resilience would guide them to greatness.